Good morning to everybody. Keep up the beautiful work. Look how the sun is shining. Hashem's radiance is shine on you as well. You should only see good things for Am Yisrael. Keep up the excellent work. We are continuing the holy endeavor of the Mishna yomi. We started a new Masechet and a new Seder. Spread the word. We're still in the beginning. People could catch up just from yesterday. And Be'ezrat Hashem, by learning just a few minutes every day, you accomplish so much. And those Mishnayot are yours forever to keep in heaven. And the Torah should be a blessing for all of you. Be'ezrat Hashem Yitbarach. We are Masechet Zivahim, Seder Kodashim. We are in Perek Aleph, Mishnah Gimal. Gimal stands for Geulah. Hashem will bring the Geulah, the redemption to Am Yisrael, in merit of all of you learning Torah so beautiful. So yesterday we were discussing if somebody brings a korban, there are 4 steps to a korban. We only mentioned one in the meantime. We will mention the other 3, Be'ezrat Hashem, today. If somebody slaughters, that's the first step of bringing a korban. A korban, which he's bringing for a certain korban, let's say korban A, but he has in mind korban B. Is the korban a kosher korban? Are you allowed to continue with the other 3 steps? So we gave in the past 2 Mishnayot a few opinions. The Tanna Kama, the first opinion in the first Mishnah said it's kosher as long as it's any other korban besides 2 korbanot, the korban Pesach and the korban Hatat. That's when a person sins by mistake, God forbid. So now the question is, Pesach, when we said when you're supposed to bring the Korban Pesach, but you had another Korban in mind, that means it's only in the time slot where you can bring the Korban Pesach, which is the 14th of Nisan after midday. What's the law if he brought the korban in the morning? That's a machloket that our Mishnah is going to bring right now. HaPesach sheshahato b'shaharit, that was slaughtered in the morning, ba'bar sar, on the 14th of the month of Nisan, shelo lishmo, and he did not have in mind for the korban Pesach, he had in mind another korban. Rabbi Yoshua machshir, Rabbi Yoshua says you can do the other 3 steps of the korban. You know why? Because it was brought in the morning, and since it was brought in the morning, it's not kosher for a korban Pesach. So it's as if he brought a different korban, and therefore you're allowed to continue. Ki'ilu nishhat b'shlosha asar. It's like he brought it on the 13th of the month. However, Ben Betera posel, the Chacham Ben Betera tells us it's not kosher. Why? He says Ki'ilu nishhat ben ha'arbaim. It's as if you brought the korban in the afternoon, and therefore the law goes like the Tanna Kama said yesterday, that if you bring a Pesach, a korban Pesach, thinking about another korban, it's not kosher. Another opinion, and guess what? This opinion has a lot of shoulders behind it. Amar Shimon ben Azai. Shimon ben Azai tells us, Mekubal ani, I received mipi shivim v'shnayim zaken, 72 rabbis of the Sanhedrin. I heard it from their mouths. Biyom shoshivu Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah yeshiva. We know there's a famous story. We even say it in Haggadah Shel Pesach. Amar Rabbi Elazar, Hare ani keben shivim shana. There was a whole story where they put Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah in charge of all of Am Yisrael to be the chief rabbi. On that day, Ben Azai tells us he heard it from 72 Chachamim that the law is like the Chachamim, the Tanna Kama, Shekol HaZivahim, HaNechalim, any korban that's eaten. So there's a drop of an amendment from what we said yesterday, according to the Tanna Kama, which we'll see momentarily. Shenizvechu shelo lishman kisherin. Any korban out there that was brought not lishma, that was slaughtered, you're allowed to finish the next 3 steps. Ela shelo alu lebaalim mishum hova. But of course, if a person has an obligation that he has to bring a certain korban and he had the wrong thoughts, so you are allowed to do the next 3 stages of the korban. korban, but it doesn't count for what you owe as an obligation. Of course, chutz min ha-pesach or min ha-hatat, except for the korban pesach and the korban hatat, like we said. So what's the difference between what Ben Azai tells us and the Tanna Kama tells us yesterday? The difference is he threw in the word hanechalin, that is eaten. All korbanot, some part of it is eaten, except for a korban olah. An olah is called an olah because it all goes up to Hashem. The whole thing is burnt, so nothing is eaten. So that means he's adding an olah to the list of korbanot that you can't do the next three stages as well. Ela ha'olah v'lo hodu l'chachamim. The chachamim did not agree to Ben Azai, so the halacha continues to be like the Tanna Kama, the chachamim in the previous Mishnah, that it's only those two, Pesach and Hatat. Mishnah Dalid for David, Mashiach ben David will come in your merit. HaPesach v'Chatat sheshachtan shelo lishman. Now we're back to our story about the Korban Pesach and Hatat, where everybody agrees it doesn't work if a person had the wrong intentions. What does it mean that the person has the wrong intentions? When they were slaughtering the animal thinking of another animal, that's not allowed. Shelo lishman. So now we're going to learn the next three stages, the next three steps of the Korban, and also those have to be for the proper kavanah. What are they? Kibel, he has to take a pure utensil, a bowl, to receive the blood after slaughtering. Vihilech, and carrying the bowl of blood to the Mizbeach. Vizarak, and to sprinkle on the corners of the Mizbeach. Shelo lishman. Any of these that were done not lishma are also not kosher, just like the slaughtering that we learned the past few days. The Mishnah adds, o lishman v'shelo lishman. Let's say he started off having the proper kavanah, but then he made a switcheroony in middle. O shelo lishman v'lishman pisulim. All these cases are pasul if he started off lo lishma with the wrong intentions and then he switched, or he started off with the right intentions and then he switched. All those are pasul. Ketzad lishman v'shelo lishman. How do you have a case where it starts off for the right intentions and then he switches to the next one? Simple. He had in mind l'shem Pesach or l'shem shelamim. He did it with in mind to Pesach and then he switched to shelamim in middle. And shelo lishman v'lishman. How do you have a case where he didn't do the right intentions and then he switched to the right ones? He did it l'shem shelamim. He had in mind the korban shelamim and then he switched to l'shem Pesach. Shahazevach nifsal ba'arba'ad devarim. The four stages of a korban and of a sacrifice have to be for the right intentions, as mentioned, and we mentioned them above. B'shchita, slaughtering; kibul, receiving the blood in a bowl; or bihiluch, walking the blood to the mizbeach; or b'zrika, and then sprinkling it on the four corners or different corners of the mizbeach. Rabbi Shimon machshir bihiluch. Rabbi Shimon argues on the Tanna Kama, and he says only 3 out of the 4 can nullify a korban. He says the walking stage does not become not kosher, doesn't nullify the korban. Why? Because you could slaughter it next to the mizbeach. So that's not really crucial in the stages. The other 3 stages, the other 3 steps are crucial, but the step of walking isn't crucial. So if someone had the wrong intentions by walking, it doesn't count. And that's what Rabbi Shimon tells us. Machshir bihiluch. Shaya Rabbi Shimon Omer. Rabbi Shimon tells us, Efshar shelo b'shchita. You have to slaughter a korban. V'shelo b'kabalav shelo b'zikah. You have to receive it and you have to sprinkle it. Aval efshar shelo bihiluch. It's possible that you don't walk the bowl of blood. Why? Shohed b'tzad ha-mizbeach v'zorek. You slaughter the animal next to the mizbeach, receive the blood, and then sprinkle it. There's no need for walking, so therefore the walking is not crucial. Rabbi Elazar gives additional twist to that opinion. It's his own opinion. Rabbi Elazar Omer, המהלך במקום שהוא צריך להלך, המחשבה פוסלת. ובמקום שאינו צריך להלך, אין המחשבה פוסלת. He says that if it was far enough